herself, the songstress, whatever. Yeah, we're doing that. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, bee puns. Why?
Oh, bee puns.
We're going right there. Yeah, we're doing that immediately. We're getting that out of the way, you know?
Perfect. So the bee puns, like they don't really have a deep meaning behind them other than, King Bee is a comedy series.
Uh-huh.
And obviously we could always just put episode 1, chapter 1 and leave it at
You
that.
should just
But
do
we
that.
wanted no, we wanted some spice. So
Spice.
yeah, so
Harmful to
Sarah,
me.
good for you. Good. It's good to laugh. It's actually healthy to laugh. So
Yeah, chapter 5, I really was laughing, you know? Ha ha ha. I was
chapter
dying on the
5.
inside, bro.
Chapter 5 was a lot of fun to write. And as a little fun little kind of backstory to it, we actually, when we were planning out that episode, we wanted to figure out like how to end it. Obviously, since King Bee is more comedy leaning, we weren't going to go for like a big finale of like fighting or anything. So we kind of worked through, the creative team and I worked through what we wanted to kind of have. And then Dylan, CEO of Voicing, was like, hey, why not like a dance battle? And then I was like, oh, that's perfect. And obviously I had to pull out all of the early 2000s TikTok and also TikTok dances and Fortnite dances and everything that you can imagine, all on the script. So
Yeah, that was something, I would say. That was just absolutely... I was gobsmacked, in all honesty.
Bert and Quick Draw, so the drafter and then the line artist / colors, they really brought it to life though. All of those dynamic angles and the movements, big props to them for bringing that to life, because literally on the script for those panels, it literally just says like close-up shot of Hachi doing, the worm. Like it wasn't anything special, and then I just linked the reference and
Wow.
they really blew it out of the water. What can I say?
Thanks, guys. Yay. Thanks. Thanks for that. One of my friends even told me, why are you reading this? Why did you suffer through this? Because he said I should just stop if I wanted to. I could
I
have.
feel like you have a love and hate relationship with the series, so it makes sense why you read it, even though it makes you miserable.
I mean, I was personally just waiting for Queen Bee that entire time. That's really it.
Yeah, I actually, specifically when we were closing out the series, because we didn't know if we wanted to do a bonus episode, but we decided, hey, look, like, we have to close it out. We have to get that support message out. We have to, why not have like a, 4 to 7 little comic strip with Princess and Queen Bee? And Queen Bee specifically, I was like, Moffs, who's been reviewing our series, really wants to see Queen Bee. It was something that came up a lot during the Gartic phone game, during the launch party, of Bert, Quick Draw Chev, and then Storm and some other folks who were really good at art drawing what they thought Queen Bee would look like. So definitely had to include that. Just a little taste to see if the series ever continues on to a full season. So much to look forward to.
Yeah, we need more Queen Bee. That's all I gotta say about that anyway. We need more Queen Bee. But yeah, I guess I should ask, who's your favorite character that you've wrote for King Bee so far?
That's an interesting question. I personally think it's just, I know this is really a boring answer, but it's honestly just Hachi.
Wow.
I think we haven't really explored, aside from like Baldric and Lord Gabriel, like the personalities of like Princess Bee and Queen Bee. So I think it'll be a lot more fun once I actually deep dive into like Princess Bee's, which I call her Princess Bee. I'm still figuring out the details behind her character, but obviously, she's the blonde, pretty bee girl that Hachi is infatuated with. But for now, Hachi has been the most fun to write just because he is the realist in a fantasy world. I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many different scenes where he pulls out that like logic and the common sense that you don't really see in main characters in isekai manga, and you're just like, oh, like wow, okay, he actually cares. What happened to his parents? Like, how did they convince them? Why does he look, Western? Like, why does he have blonde hair and like, so
Yeah, interesting. I mean, yeah, I a lot of the. I mean, I'm surprised you did an isekai. In all honesty, like not a lot of isekais on Voice Me, anyways.
Um, I think for Isekai, it was one of those things that obviously the original idea was kind of crafted by Voice Me's creative team. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it was a bunch of different input put together. Isekai has been a very, very popular trend,
Very true.
in the last couple months to year. So it's something that kind of goes through waves. And it's definitely something that, like, I feel like a lot of people can enjoy. And comedy is one of those things that you could put into like any series technically, but it's something that is really fun in isekai because you have those great comedic moments of like, where am I?
Yeah.
So that made it a lot easier to write.
I mean, I will say it's definitely not just been a year for the isekai. It's been like a bunch of years.
Yes.
I think people are more tired of isekai, if anything, because of how many there's been.
But people still watch it. I literally
Yeah.
watched a ton on Crunchyroll. I go into the comments of the first episode and they're like, what is it called? Base isekai anime, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one coming out soon. Like, it's like vending machine isekai or whatever. We're getting to a point where it's just bad.
Yes. And then there's some gems, but overall, like, I would say 90% are just, spit, rinse, and repeat,
What's
very...
Yeah, I got you. What's some of your favorite isekais, I guess, if, you have any?
I forgot the specific name. It's been so long since I've watched it. I think it's called, like, Skyma no Familiar or something. It's a really old one.
Yeah, Zero no Tsukaima, Familiar of Zero.
Yes,
Yeah, I know about
yes.
that. Yeah,
Zero no Skyma. Thank you.
you're
I
welcome.
remember that one of my first ones that I watched. I thought the main female character was funny because she liked to blow things up.
Yeah.
And overall, it was really interesting, just the plot of how she summoned a whole person versus like a spirit creature.
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
that was really funny.
yeah, I enjoyed that one. I mean, it might not hold up well today. I haven't really watched it again recently. I don't know if it, it is whatever. Any other ones you would say?
So obviously being, I've watched like over 500 anime series, so I have a lot in my inventory, but yes, so I would say Log Horizon and Sword Art Online, like those were kind of like the spearheads of the genre, and so each of them had their own kind of appeal. I like Log Horizon because it was more slice of life. They took it from a very different angle, and then Sword Art Online, at least the first season, was really golden for me just because it introduced me to the genre, and it was really big appeal, kind of death games feel before obviously it's become very routine now.
Yeah.
What else? I obviously am a really big fan of all of like the romantic comedy reincarnation series that have started to come out, like My Next Life is a Villainess. There's another one that I watched as well. I forgot the name because it's like a whole paragraph. But there was one about how she reincarnated as a villainess and she got dumped by the crown prince, obviously, and then she goes and pleads to get married, I guess, with the demon king or something. It's really funny. But overall, it's just the comedy aspect of that. So yeah, I have a ton. I probably could make a whole list, but I don't think we have time.
I mean, we got a bunch of time. Just talk. Just go off. That's all I want.
I don't see. I would have to pull up a list because I've watched so many isekai series, but to be honest, I don't know if I remember all of them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this 11 to 12 episode series, you kind of watch and then you're like, okay, next one.
Yeah. I guess I can give you some, see if you know about any.
Yes.
What about Overlord?
I don't think I've watched that actually.
Damn, that's good.
I've heard of it.
That's really
I've
good.
heard about it though.
What about that time I got reincarnated as a slime?
Oh, I love that series.
Thank you.
Yep.
You at least watched that.
That's a top tier series. I watched like all the seasons up to date.
Nice. I know it's getting a new one soon. I think like next year or this year. I don't know.
Yes.
That one does slap. But I
I'm
guess,
excited for that.
yeah, I am too. I mean, Rimuru, honestly, crazy good character, you know.
It's also fun, I think, too, because while he's kind of admired by, you know, obviously the trope of like the harem-esque, but at the same time, he's not focused on that. He's all about like, he obviously pulls out the friendship is power move, but at the same point, he isn't super fixated on like the girls. Like, he's more like, I want to form a kingdom. I'm gonna go solve this political dispute.
Not gonna lie, he's like forced into half of these, you know. He's like forced into making these decisions, and you know, most of the time he's just like, he just goes with the flow. He doesn't know what to do half of the time. He's like a civil servant. He's a regular ass guy.
It's great. Oh, it's so amazing. I love both this, obviously the cute slime form as well as the human form. I think they did a really good job translating that over. He obviously is OP, but he doesn't look OP. He looks very standard.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really, yeah, it's a great series.
Yeah.
I also watched the Spider series.
Oh, the what's it called? Like, what? So what if I'm a spider or whatever? I think that's what it is. What do you think about that? I know I wasn't a fan of that one. So
I think the biggest thing is I got through like the first season and I didn't continue far along. I think the reason why is there was the main character spends a really, really long time in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Like, I know I got past that point, but it was very difficult because the two storylines, although they ultimately merge later on in the series, at least for manga spoilers, like the reincarnated classmates who turned into heroes and into mages, into a dragon, and then the spider, you know, they didn't actually like fully meet until really later on, to the point where I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
I do think the plot was interesting. It definitely didn't keep my attention as long as like the slime series, of course. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, Slime Isekai kind of just went, you know, it just kind of just did stuff. Like, it was just pretty fast paced, you know, so it was easy to like enjoy. So yeah, I mean, isekais pretty solid for the most part, and then there's just bad ones. You know.
Oh, I love Ascendance of the Bookworm.
Oh, I know about that one. I don't think I watched that one, but I just know about it, you know? It's just like that. It's like the blue-haired girl, right?
Yes, it's she is like one of those people who absolutely loves reading. You know, like you've met people in real life like that. They're book fanatics. Like, they love the texture of real books. They love to, like, you know, they're very particular about having a bookmark and not creasing the pages, all that kind of stuff. So she reincarnates into this world where paper books are expensive, and she decides to kind of create her own book producing kind of business. And I think one of the things that I like most in a series is learning stuff. I know that's crazy, but I think stuff like what was it called? Dr. Stone. So scientific based ones. Something that I am not familiar with, you know, obviously I'm not an expert in. It's always interesting to look at it from, you know, the point of view of people who are experts or who have that knowledge. And they're exploring something more than just like typical, I'm going to go fight a boss. I'm going to go, you know, make a harem. Like, it's more like, I have this goal that I want to bring from the other world, whether it's cooking or science or bookmaking. And it's something that's very unique. So yeah, so that kind of stuff interests me a lot.
So cooking wise, are you talking about like Food Wars? Have you seen Food Wars?
I have seen Food Wars. I was talking more about like cooking in another world, but
that is gas though. I do like that series.
I've seen Food Wars. Not the biggest fan of the you know the particular scenes I'm thinking about. However, I actually did like the other parts of the series.
I mean, the cooking is nice.
Spirit.
The cooking is nice. Yeah.
It looks delicious.
Indeed. Not the shirts coming off part, but you know, the cooking. But yeah, cooking in another world is pretty good too. I would agree.
Yes.
There's so many.
There really are.
I think one more I want to ask you about is Mushoku Tensei. What do you think about that one?
So did watch the series a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to get through it. I realized that I kind of fell off with it though, just because um it was just dark. I think
Mm.
one of the hardest parts was it was slower and it was a dark
Yeah.
series, and so it was hard to kind of relate. And also it just might be because, obviously I am, a 23 something year old woman, and this is a 30 something year old neat guy, who, is recluse,
Mm-hmm.
and who, and I have heard, obviously defenses like, oh, he gets better, he starts to treat women more
Mm-hmm.
respectfully, but obviously it's kind of like for people just casually watching to swallow that pill of like he's really perverted,
He a
and
weirdo, yeah.
it's kind of creepy. He's creeping on these like younger girls, even
Mm-hmm.
though he technically reincarnated as a young boy. It's just, yeah, definitely. I think it's just because I can't relate. Obviously,
Yeah.
when I was like his age as a girl, I didn't have those thoughts. So I just
Mm-hmm.
am kind of like can't relate as much.
Yeah, I got you.
Um, but yeah, so I tend to like now, I think because I went through the era of watching darker series like when I was in middle and high school and in college, I feel like now I just want to watch comedy. I just want to laugh. I want to, it's kind of escapism. So
Yeah.
I want to have more lighthearted series. And if I do pick up a dark series, I want it to be good, like really like thought provoking, like Psychopaths. That's one of my favorite psychological thriller anime.
I need to get to that one, bro. It's just sitting there on my list. That and a bunch of them. But I guess moving. I mean, we're still on anime. I gotta ask what your favorite anime is overall.
So a lot of people ask me that question, and it's really difficult. But I can give you like a top list. So
Go ahead.
for sports, it would definitely be probably. It was just my favorite, Kuroko no Basket. It's
Okay.
where Kuroko's basketball. It's like where a lot of my comedy comes from,
Mm.
and to be honest, it's just those moments. Obviously, the actual basketball is fun, but Kuroko, the main character, is definitely a favorite because he just disappears out of nowhere, and people are like, "Where did he go?" And then he appears back, and they're like, "When did you get here?" And it's just a really fun dynamic.
Yeah.
It's all about the characters in that anime, which I also really love because I love when they really deep dive into the uniqueness of the characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, Haikyuu is really up there as well. I love the dynamics between the two main characters, which is really a lot of fun. Obviously, Psychopaths for psychological thrillers, Hunter x Hunter, Bleach, and probably Gintama as well.
Hey, we got a Bleach fan. Let's go. Finally.
Yes.
Finally, bro. Everyone's One Piece.
I actually haven't watched One Piece, so I can't make any comments for it. I
mean,
have watched Naruto. I've watched a lot of the bigger series, but obviously One Piece I just couldn't get into timing wise, and also I would have had to start at the very beginning.
yeah.
There's like almost 1,000 episodes.
I mean, there is 1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
there's a very well documented history of me not liking One Piece. Like, I don't know, I probably, I just hate One Piece just to hate it.
Oh no, you.
No, I mean, not just to hate it. I actually did watch it, but I don't know, it just wasn't me. It wasn't for me. But yeah, Bleach, whoa. Finally, bro, a Bleach fan, man. That's all it is, bro. You win. You win with my respect with that one. Because no one likes Bleach. No one likes Bleach, man.
Really?
Everyone shits on Bleach. Everyone shits on Bleach, like, hard. I mean, it's honestly because of all the filler, but, like, understandable. But, like, yeah.
Sometimes I would watch some of the fillers. Sometimes I'd skip certain episodes if they weren't as interesting.
Mhm.
Overall, I did like the series, though, just because I loved Rukia. Rukia just was golden for me. She is such a fun character. She's kind of like the, what is it? Like the lawful good. If we're going D&D, alignment wise. And, she just was, like, I think that was the biggest draw too. She just had common sense. Series with common sense are just peak for me.
Okay. Nice. I'm just happy you like Bleach. I mean, hopefully you're not in that like Ichigo Rukia like shipping though. That's weird. Hopefully you're not into that. Nah, you're into
Well,
that.
when
You're
I
into
watched it when I
that.
was like in middle school, so I
Oh.
definitely was more along that line instead of.
Ew.
I know this is unpopular opinion probably, but I did not like Orihime. Really did not like Orihime. Just because she falls under the trope of like saying the guy's name 5 million times, the main character's name 5 million times.
Kurosaki.
Well,
Especially
and,
during
like,
the Ukiyo.
The only character who can get away with that for me personally is Mikasa, because it's a meme. And honestly, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, and
wow.
This season 4, chapter 2, is the Eren Mikasa Levi bundle, and so I actually have Mikasa and Eren, and because Eren you can unlock, and it's the biggest meme about with my friends and I when we play.
I honestly thought you were gonna say like the only person that like can get away with that would be like Kagome or whatever from Inuyasha, because she does that a lot too. I mean Inuyasha does it too, but like
she just says sit boy sit. I love Inuyasha though. She's a fun character.
Yeah,
Kagome is amazing.
I mean I mean I can't watch it now, I'll be honest. I don't know if it held up well today.
I've actually rewatched the first 3 seasons, and it's actually not that bad.
Okay.
Just because of the character dynamics and the comedy. The world itself, I really like as well. Also, if you hear whining, it's my dog.
Okay. But I know there's just like one straight freak in that series. I know that. If I remember correctly. There's just one wild ass motherfucker. It's the I don't know, but he's like the guy who's like, he's basically the Brock from Pokemon of the series. He's just so weird. Miroku. He's like everybody, bro. Everybody can get it pretty much.
He's Miroku. So that reminds me of the character from My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
The purple.
Oh, Mineta. Yeah,
Mineta-kun. Miroku and Mineta are very in the same lane. I do remember his character. It is funny though, because Sango, who they ended up getting married, I think at the end of Inuyasha, but she always just slaps him. Like she just with her I forgot what her weapon name is, but she has a huge like boomerang, and she just like whacks him with it when he's being a lecher. Like
oh man. Yeah.
And then so Inuyasha top tier though. Love that.
Okay. I guess we can go back to favorite anime, because I think you got to like Hunter x Hunter and Bleach. Continue.
Yes. So Hunter x Hunter, unpopular opinion again, I loved it up until the Chimera arc.
Bro.
I think the Chimera arc brought me out of it, and I think it was just because of the tone shift of the author killing off everyone.
Bro, Chimera arc is like one of the best.
But I think I know a lot of people who love it. I think because it's darker, but I think that's the reason why I didn't like it, is because they killed off Goen's kind of mentor character.
Kite. Kite got hoed, not gonna lie.
He got slapped. Some of like the cuter characters, the ones that are like more
the bee girl.
No. It was the kids, like the kid type characters.
Yeah,
and they got slaughtered as well.
I mean, like, the bee girl did too. The bee girl did.
And then it just was a lot darker. The ending though I liked. I really liked the ending to the season. Just where he finally meets his father up in the tree, and then Killua and his sister go off into their own adventure and to like keep them safe, and so it's just very beautiful ending. I obviously the equivalent of Mineta and Miroku is on an even worse level is Hisoka. Oh yeah,
Hisoka. Yeah. Yes, Hisoka. Yeah. I got nothing to say about Hisoka. He just that guy, I guess. He a little weird. He not a little weird. He's very weird. But yeah, all right. Interesting. I don't know. I read a little bit of the manga. Jing's still a deadbeat dad. Like, he's still not there for his son. It's yikes. Mans needs to. I mean, honestly, what is he supposed to do? So, I mean, continue. I don't want to interrupt you anymore.
Oh no, you're fine. Oh my gosh, what other series? Oh, Anohana.
Okay. Okay.
That is an older one and very underrated. It's the English translation is a bit weird because it goes from Anohana, which is like that flower, and it gets like elongated, the flower that bloomed that day.
Yeah.
Something something.
Yeah.
I just remember crying at the last episode. It was just a very beautiful piece of art. Like, it's just all about, you know, friends reuniting after years apart and being estranged and alienated, and then just coming together and mourning like the death of their friend. It was just and seeking closure. It was all about like the grief process, which I thought was something very like something that a lot of people go through, and that's something that, like, you know, you can relate to. So
yeah.
Other series, I have so many, but I'm drawing a blank. It's kind of crazy. Obviously, you know, I started with romantic comedy, so like Kaicho wa Maid-sama,
Yes.
Host Club,
Not yes.
Kimi ni Todoke.
Can we
There's
get
like
English
just a lot
title,
of
please? I don't know these names.
Kimi ni From Me to You.
Oh. Oh.
Let me think. What else? Skip Beat. I love Skip Beat. But yeah, all of them are really good. I just 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
W Maid-sama rating. W. That is a good show. That is a good show. What is your opinion on Toradora?
Oh, I've actually watched that fully through. She looks like a child, so that's a little bit odd.
Yeah, I hate that.
I think the dynamic in terms of like having people have misperceptions about your character, and working through that. Like, obviously she's a really cute type and she looks like cute, but she comes off very ferocious and vicious. Like, she's very like different from how she appears.
She's a
And then,
tsundere.
she is a tsundere. And then the other one, obviously he looks very scary. You know, he has that like, you know, kind of yakuza
Delinquent
look
boy
and vibe. Delinquent vibes.
Yep.
But then obviously he comes off as very like, you know, manjime, like straightforward, responsible, like very kind-hearted.
Yeah.
Really not violent. And so I think by like showing off the fact that like misconceptions about other people, like, you really need to get to know who they are before you sit there and judge how they come off initially. Like, you know, and I think that anime that gives like those kind of lessons are great. I love the anime movies that have come out, like A Silent Voice, dealing with like, you know, people with disabilities and how people treat them, and how you know, forgiveness is something that takes a really long time. It's like something that like you can't just expect of someone because you treat them nicely after you've treated them terribly. But also going through bullying, and like how it can really easily turn back on you. Sorry, my dog is crazy right now. Let me just let her. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. She's like sniffing something in the air right now.
All right.
And then obviously the one, I forgot the name because I haven't watched it in a while, but the one where they keep swapping bodies, I think that was a really good.
Ain't that like Yamada or whatever? Yamada and the Seven Witches or something?
No. It's an anime movie, so it's it's the one like, oh, Your Name.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
All right.
I am so sorry. I am back.
All right, it's fine. You were talking about Your Name.
Yes, Your Name, I think, was one of those series that I felt like defined anime movies. Obviously not in a way like that's like super like nothing like terribly, like, I don't know. It's just a milestone. It's one of those things where it presented like a new era, I think, of like anime movies, like the style, the music, and obviously the studios all have their own like similar looks now when they create those type of movies.
Yeah.
So overall, really love that. And not specifically like, I would classify this as like a classic versus like anime series specifically, but obviously everything that Studio Ghibli creates, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I just did that watch party part 2 thing.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Did you cry?
Nope.
I saw you saying I didn't cry at this one.
Nope. Gravity Fireflies did not make me cry, unfortunately. It is what it is. Honestly, I haven't cried to like anything in a while. Like Anohana didn't make me cry. It is what it is.
You gotta get one of those that just hits you in the feels.
Nah, it's more like I don't like the one that I cried to, so I'm never gonna cry to anime again. There we go. That's what it is.
Oh, no, Moss, no. You have to. I guess that's your own kind of grieving process going through with that.
Yeah, I'm not crying to another anime because I don't like the anime that I cried to. Yep, that's how I'm doing things. It is what it is.
But yeah, House Moving Castle probably is my favorite out of Ghibli, other than Spirited Away. Spirited Away was just really solid in terms of learning about like the background and, you know, what all that meant. And it's interesting the more people deep dive, like obviously I watch YouTube videos where they do reviews and like the cultural background as well as like what the author, you know, Hayao Miyazaki was trying to create, you know, with the story. And so, and the art is obviously fantastical, so very appealing as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so overall I've just been, you know, in terms of anime, keeping up with like, obviously I think the recent season of My Hero Academia ended, and I've been keeping up with a few different ones. Like I know that a new reincarnation / transmigration isekai came out called like why Rilliana is in the Duke's mansion or something, and so I've been watching that one. And there are a few other ones, just random isekai ones that I'm watching, like I think like a 30-year-old office worker guy who just had a terrible job, like he was working for like, they say like quote unquote like, I forgot what it was, like it was a really underground company or something where you're like have a bad boss and like you have
black company or whatever.
Yeah, and a ton of different like responsibilities that are thrown onto you, and then he gets reincarnated, and all the gods and goddesses obviously love him, and it's a fun vibe because when he visits that spirit realm, like the godly realm, they're just sitting there sipping on tea and saying, we're having so much fun watching you and you're so entertaining, and they don't like put him through hell, like he's just, you know, vibing, he's just, you know, coming up with new spells and like, you know, enjoying his life as a new person. So I love those kind of slice of life route that the isekai are taking now. It's like really comforting, and just a lot more about healing. So yeah,
I'm trying to think of that anime you're talking. Is it By the Grace of the Gods?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. Might be something else. So. But yeah, By the Grace of the Gods, his name's like Roma or whatever. Ryoma.
Yes.
All right. As I thought. I know season 2 ended last season, so that's what I
like the pharmacy too. The pharmacy in Another World, or like I forgot what the actual name was, but I loved how he was just like, I have these amazing powers. I'm blessed by like the goddess of pharmacy. His literal last name I think is like like his first name is Pharma.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Lemedis, and I'm like, okay, pharmacy and the medicine, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, those are pretty solid so far.
Yeah, they're very good. I can't wait for the second, like if they have more seasons.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for when those drop. I know you have hot takes. Do you have any more?
Hot takes.
Yeah, man.
About specific series?
I mean, just anything, really.
Let me think. Hot takes about anything? Okay, Ross, that's
like anime, manga, maybe even voice me, bro. Anything.
Oh, okay. So recently, obviously it was announced and had a launch party. I am so excited for I Am the CEO to just have a full season. I'm excited
Yup.
to see where they take it. Obviously, they had that really cool flashback scene, kind of showing how he trained and the
Yeah.
different missions he went on. Giving a little bit background. And obviously, it's just it's a story about our CEO, so it's gotta be great. I made the suggestion that Dylan should carry around a physical copy of I Am the CEO and just use it as his intro greeting. So that's been a lot of fun. There are a few upcoming series that I'm interested in, and I hope to see them launched, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. But where the hot takes at?
What do you mean,
Like hot takes, as in like your take you don't know what hot takes are?
I don't know what
hot takes is, you literally said like the Chimera Antark wasn't good to you. That type of that's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I watched a YouTube video. It's an amazing creator, actually, which is really funny. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. It's like a skit, but he was like pretending with a green screen to be in like a prison, and like he was playing two guards, and he was like, "This is where we keep all the people with bad anime hot takes." I think in the where the solitary confinement was the person. I forgot specifically. But the hot take was so funny. Like, oh yeah, the CGI in Attack on Titan season 3 or something was good or something. I think that was their hot take. And they're like, well, the season 3 CGI is good. And one of the guards said, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have to put you in a cell. And then the guard flipped it on him. The newbie guard was like, actually, it's trending that the CGI is good now because Mappa is fire right now, and then the original guard has to got taken away.
Interesting. I mean, the CGI wasn't good in season 3 anyways. Like that was their attempt at it,
Yeah,
they got better. They got better though.
Yes. I just kept it out of my mind. I just kept watching. I kept it out of my mind. I kept watching.
So drop some hot takes. Where your hot takes at, ma'am?
Are you trying to get me canceled?
No, I'm just trying to hear what your hot takes are. The last female author I had in here had some bad hot takes.
Oh wait, let me listen to some of hers. I want to.
She I'm trying to remember. I don't want to like say anything incorrect here. Just not a good one. I'll just say that. So you gotta one up her or not.
What, one up her in a bad way or a good way?
However you want to.
I don't know. Let me think. I'm really drawing a big. Okay, you have to give me a specific series. You can't just be like, "Oh, what's your hot take on all of anime?" Like, is there like a trending series like that?
That
Yeah.
Demon Slayer. Did you not watch Demon Slayer?
I watched Demon Slayer.
Okay, making sure.
I think they were talking. I think I remember hearing like the debate between like, is JJK better or like, the Demon Slayer, or like how would those two compare and like overall. And I honestly loved both, so I can't. They take such different, unique approaches that I'm kind of like they're standalone in their own right, and their art is fire. So like, it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, because both series are just great.
Bro. No hot takes to be seen.
Listen, you try to pull something controversial out of me, and I'm the type of person to just like casually watch stuff or like be really into stuff or not, and like I don't really have like super extreme opinions on stuff. Like this should be this way or that way should be, like Bruh. I don't have those. Other than I didn't like the Chimera arc.
What about Naruto? You got anything to say about Naruto?
Oh, so I only watch Naruto Shippuden, so.
Bruh, I was gonna say you're missing out, but there, just some things, not everything.
They like, also they had a lot of flashback scenes throughout Naruto Shippuden of the original Naruto series. So
Yeah.
oh yeah, so I did watch quite a bit of Boruto. I would say that it cannot, obviously it does not hold a candle to like the original Naruto series and its sequel, but I like the main, like I like whenever Sasuke and Sakura, like they had their recent arc together. I actually really like
That
that.
dinosaur arc?
Was it? Yeah.
Oh
the
my
dinosaur
god.
arc.
Oh my god.
Well, it was just because I liked their I like their relationship. That's why.
The Velociraptor arc. He's fighting dinosaurs, bro.
I like the, other than all the 50 million fillers in Boruto, I like the main series. Like I think yeah.
You're a Boruto fan?
I wouldn't say a huge fan. But
no.
I would say I want to see the rest of the
no.
main series. Similar to like Bleach, you have to get through all of the filler.
Nah. This is different. This is different, bro. No.
Listen, I was bored. There was no new content.
Oh my god.
You know,
what? There's so you could just watch something. What? Chainsaw Man? Did you watch that?
Yes, I did watch that. Denji is definitely not my favorite character, but I do like the series.
All right.
I think there's just something about perverted guy characters that I just can't get with. He spent like the first several episodes just wanting to touch a woman's boob, and I was just like, I am gonna pass on that. Like,
very noble goal. What do you mean?
I knew majority of the men in the chat could relate, but I'm like, nah. I was just like, no. I was like, I saw the Crunchyroll comments. You do not want to know what they said. I just fast forwarded through and then got to the plot. You know, because overall, I like the different powers. I like the setup. I like the different, like, how, the red-haired
Makima.
Makima. She is very sketch. Just, she always seems like she has an ulterior motive. You can't really tell behind that smile.
Or all the people barking for her,
They are barking, and I just have to say, thank you to X. Like, but I do like the way that they presented the series in that it's a lot darker. I think they took an interesting route for like that kind of series. Because it, obviously the ones that are more like, he's not a hero, he's just a guy who wants to survive and he'll just do whatever it takes. So it's kind of like that lack of morality sense.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously his heart is now like a demon's heart. So, it's, or devil's heart. Like, it's like, so it takes a different route. So that's interesting. I did like the ending. I love the future devil. I think that he was really cool, and the opening to the series is obviously very fire. Like, the opening song, like that sequence specifically, is probably one of my favorite anime songs.
Nice.
So yeah, so I don't know if it's a hot take to not like Denji, but I guess
whatever. I guess last anime thing, what about Akira?
Oh, so I actually haven't watched Akira.
Why? What's the excuse?
The excuse? I don't think it was on any channels that I used, any platforms.
Bro.
And also,
oh, you want to watch it legally? Okay.
There was a time where I watched it illegally, like, anime, and then I just decided Crunchyroll is a lot easier. And then I think too, so when I was in college as a freshman, there was a girl who was across the hall, and she just, she loved anime too. It was great, but she would nonstop talk about Akira. And I think that, after
someone overhyped it. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's not even overhyped, because I could understand if people love the series and like, but if you talk about it for hours on end in a hostage situation, then you kind of feel like, okay, I probably don't want to watch this series anymore.
Damn.
You know, so it's sad. I think, you know, obviously if I had someone to watch it with and like, you know, that would be great. I would do it like a watch party, but overall, like, I've never had the impetus to just sit down and watch it.
I'll watch party with you, bro. I want you to watch this movie.
You want me to do a reaction video of Akira?
Yes, it's such a good movie, bro. It holds up really well.
I've watched a lot of movies, you know, I took a Japanese pop culture through film class, and I ended up watching a lot of films. Obviously, like Graveyard of the Fireflies. I watched one about like robots, like how he was trying to resurrect his daughter through, you know, creating a robot. It was like a really old film.
Okay.
So I've watched. Oh, we got to watch Demon Slayer Mugen Train. That was one of the ones that we were signed. So yeah, for some pretty fire anime series. So yeah, overall, very good.
Yeah. I get we should go back to voice me stuff now. Since you don't know what hot takes are. Gosh. But yeah, how did you find voice me?
So actually what was really interesting is I came across a listing / posting for the creative writing internship at Voice Me on LinkedIn. So I was freelance writing for Game Rant for about 3 months, and I was still, you know, looking on LinkedIn to see if anything else popped up that was interesting. And I saw this like, you know, creative writing internship, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it's a mix of like, you know, learning how to script write, it's you know, creating stories, producing the stories, all this, you know, fun stuff. And it was in, you know, obviously the anime, comic, gaming industry, and it was like an introduction into that. And I was like, wow, okay, well, I'll just throw my hat in there and see where that goes. And Larita, obviously wonderful chief of staff at Voice Me, reached out to me and said, hey, look, you know, we actually closed our interviews, or we've already started our interview process, but you know, we really like your resume and your experience and really want to, you know, have a call with you to, you know, because I guess my skills and my background were like interesting to them. So we had a call, it went really well. Then I, you know, went on to talk to Dylan and introduced myself and, you know, all the fun questions. One of the questions, I think it was an icebreaker question that I love to tease Dylan about, was he asked me, if you could be a kitchen utensil, what would you be? And I literally had to think about it for a couple minutes, and I literally went into my kitchen, grabbed like tongs, you know, like the metal tongs, and was like, a metal tong.
Oh my god.
Apparently that was the, you know,
wow.
that was the clincher. That was the one that, you know, sold it. So
interesting. Very interesting icebreaker.
Yes, very fascinating. Obviously, Dylan knew the other people who had applied to the internship, and so they just had a very more casual interview call. But
yeah,
obviously, it was their first like video call meeting. It needed to be a little bit more professional and more get to know you based. So
unlike me, I just say whatever I want. So yeah.
Well, it's your interview style. It's just your style in general. It's all good.
Yes, sir. But that's interesting. But yeah, interesting professional interview, kitchen utensil. Let's go. That's honestly, I wouldn't even know what I'd say to that.
I had to go through them in my head. I was like, I wouldn't want to be a fork because I don't want to stab people. I don't want to be a knife because I don't want to stab people. I don't want to be a spoon because other than soup and like certain things, you can't really use it. Just going through it.
Because there's like so many, and also just like, what do you say? Like, is it like, did he ask why? Or,
no, he just,
okay. I was like, I don't know how I'd explain myself.
I ended up explaining myself, and it was, yeah. Apparently it worked.
Wow.
And then I joined the Discord community server a little bit after, and I got familiarized with the people. I talked a bit, and, you know, chatted with a few, you know, obviously Lotus, Monty isn't really active in the server, but Lotus and Yozora are. So I got to know people through them, and also just through speaking in the general. And yeah, so Although I'm not always on the Discord server just because, busy with the series and everything, but I check in a few times to see what's going on, what's trending, and,
Mm-hmm.
any updates. So it's been really fun. Yeah, and I've been having an amazing time, working on series for Voice Me. I think that the team itself, like the admin plus, obviously project managers and product and the marketing and everything, like it's been really cool to see kind of behind the scenes of that and active communication with them. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. What brought you to King B?
So we really formulated and kind of with the creative team, we formulated the series together, and we really wanted to hit certain markers. First of all, one of the biggest things was bringing different genres into Voice Me.
Mm.
Obviously, a lot of the main genres that Voice Me had really capitalized on, and they still are, and they still will, are action specifically, as well
Yeah.
as fantasy. And those series do really well, and so they're the ones that obviously will continue onward. And but then they, Dylan posed the question of, oh, like, we kind of want to see if we can branch out to other genres and attract new audiences, or maybe get our viewers interested in different genres. I remember there being a poll about that. What genre would you like to see? A lot of people said slice of life, comedy, horror. Horror was actually a very popular one as well.
Yeah.
And so King B kind of arose out of that kind of branch off. Can we make a successful series based on comedy? It just wasn't something that, Voice Me had really put, I guess, emphasis on in the past. And so now that King B is kind of growing, it's showing to be quite good. Like it's the reaction is quite well within the community, and we're just trying to get it out now marketing wise. And comedy itself is something that I enjoy writing. The pitch deck that I gave to Voice Me to get into the internship was comedy based, so I guess I have a knack for comedy.
I guess so. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I'd expect something like that, even though I didn't, But yeah, I mean, I'm liking King B so far. It's very interesting, Outside the TikTok dances, those had me dying. I wanted to die. I was being physically hurt watching those. I'm still filing against you guys, by the way.
I think I wrote it knowing that it would be cringe. Like, I remember specifically thinking, like, Princess B, like the beautiful B girl, is gonna be doing her whole like ballroom royal etiquette dance, and I was like, Hachi has no like social life. He has no like experience, doing anything, and so obviously he's going to be filled with social anxiety. And then once he kind of broke out of his shell a little bit, he was like, I got to use what I got, and what he has is TikTok, and Just Dance moves, and that's what happened. Like, I mean, what else would a social kind of like recluse, not by choice, but by, his bee allergy and his overprotective parents, what else is he gonna do,
I know I said it. I said it when I was reacting to it. I was like, they don't know what this is, so they just like it. They don't know what it is. They don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so, and also one of the biggest things biologically about bees actually is that they do a kind of twerk dance. And it is meant to like, alert other bees in the area. It's like a communication style. There's actually a GIF on Discord that you can look up that's just bees twerking, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And so we wanted to implement that somehow. And I think maybe if we get another season, I might go further into like the background of that specific dance. But for now, we'll just leave it as one of the many, TikTok dances in the series.
Okay. Okay.
We also wanted something like, I think it's hilarious the fact that everyone loved it.
And then there's me.
Yeah, I think most readers would react like, oh my gosh, this is so cringe, but kind of funny, but cringe. But it's enough for the isekai, audience to be like, woohoo, this is the best thing that we've ever seen.
Yeah, it was interesting. But speaking of the bees, why are the outside bees so hostile, bro? I don't understand. Why are they just targeting this man?
It's part of the lore.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Deep-seated bee lore, but essentially what we have spoken about in the series is that it is related to a curse. And so we haven't really delved deep because, we would need more episodes, so support the series.
Yeah, run it up.
Which will be kind of later explained. But for the base, it's a curse that was put onto Hachi, where, the bees are not only like attacking him, but they're also fatal. So like he is allergic, as Baldric in bee form says in like, I think episode 2, his own subjects are going against him in, the real world, the human world. And then in Alvarium, they obviously aren't hostile because, it's magic, but also just because they're in that other world. It's only in the human world where they're really attacking.
I see.
But we'll get more into logistics later on. For sure.
Yeah. How far do you have planned for in King Bee? Like, do you have like a chapter count or episode count or whatever?
So for the pilot series, it originally was just going to be 5 episodes, and then obviously the bonus episode was kind of to close it out. If the series continues and gets greenlit for a full season, which will need quite a bit more views, but I'm believing that like with the marketing that's been going on and just like the personal marketing, that it'll go well and reach that goal. We'll have a full season, which I think a season is about 20 to 25 episodes. I have not yet planned out a ton. I know generally where the series will go, but obviously we will have to wait for it to get greenlit to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna set a time aside to like fully put in like the step-by-step bullet outlines for each episode in the season. So
okay.
Because I've been working on a few other series, so. Oh
yeah, can you elaborate on these other series or not yet?
NDA, no. But,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Just know that more stuff is coming from the creative team, and that
nice.
You'll see it eventually. Can't tell dates either, but you'll see it eventually.
Interesting. I mean, did you have to cut out any like critical things from the pilot, or did you already know what you were gonna put in it?
Oh, so in terms of like writing, so we created kind of this document outline of what each episode would do. From there, we went in bullet points, and then when I actually sat down to write it, the episodes themselves kind of turned out very differently from the outlines, just because, when you're actually sitting down and writing it, the reality of like the flow of the episodes turned out different.
Yeah.
And so, I would say that like Dylan, Lotus, and I specifically kind of sat down and looked through, what is more realistic for the series, and then went for that and did some revisions. But honestly, I had a lot of creative freedom just to write what I wanted to write for the series. So,
nice.
Yeah, so ultimately it ended up in a really great spot, like in my opinion, in terms of where the pilot series actually ended, and looking forward to like setting up more stuff. So I have a few things that were in the outline that definitely will come back if it gets a full season. It's just the timing wise of like what could be included. So more on that later. But the episode 5.5 set up the series in a way that I wanted to kind of tease kind of the connection between the Queen Bee and Hachi. And I also wanted to do that specifically because you thought Hachi and Queen Bee were going to be an item. Yeah,
unfortunately, can't have it, bro.
And that would be going down the incest route, which I don't think.
That would be. Ew. I guess she's free then. It is what it is. I called her. Sorry, guys. It is what it is.
If we ever get a funny cameo, maybe.
But I mean, how would you say your pilot's been so far?
The experience or the reactions, like which?
I mean,
what way?
I guess we can go over all of it.
So in terms of the pilot experience, like this is my first webcomic series ever, especially since
Ah.
it's tied, to the creative team working with them,
Mm.
and the internship. So it's a little bit different. Um, and so I would say that genuinely it has been good. I mean, I obviously had the support of like Dylan and Lotus going through and editing and revising. So it was really like, it gave me courage to keep working on it. Um, and overall, I think while at first it didn't seem to be picking up a lot of steam, I think after I went in and decided, okay, I want to do kind of my own personal social media marketing, creating kind of separate accounts from my personal accounts, and
Mm-hmm.
started to kind of use what we had in the series. It started to, have a lot more like word of mouth and people sending it to people, as well as overall just reception from people, throughout the internet. Like, I mean, TikTok and Instagram, there's been quite a few people who have been like, oh, what's the name of the series? I want to read it. And from there, I've seen like the views explode kind of rapidly. I think it was like 10,000 views in a week. And then obviously once people see that the series is picking up steam, like people in the actual voicemail community are like, oh, I want to read this too. And so overall, that's been really fun. I mean, obviously, like you specifically, Moffs, and like the Spirit Writer who did a review, and My Anime Village who did an interview, like all of these things that are coming together help to form streams of views into the actual series, which is amazing. So all the support for it has been phenomenal, whether it's from the company side or from like quote unquote fan/reviewer side. All the generated content has been pretty great. So I'm actually very happy with it. So I'm hoping it does well for my sake and for, obviously the art studio's sake, Bert's Pixel House Studios specifically, since it's their first series as a studio. So
Okay.
I want to do well for everyone, So
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for you as well because I want this to be good. Not just totally not because I want to see more Queen Bee, totally not, but I also wanted to see it be successful as well. To be honest, that's how
want
I
to
feel.
be successful.
Oh my god, no. Oh,
I had to do one. I had to
God.
do one.
There's like multiple instances where you could have done it, but you had to do it now when I'm talking great about your series.
It's the perfect time.
But yeah, do you have any series on Voice Me that you're personally reading?
Oh, personally reading. Definitely Rewrite. I Am the CEO. God Game. I haven't read the recent chapters of God Game, but I read up until the hiatus. But Rewrite I have been reading just because I love like, the time traveling back, like Erased slash what else was that series? Like, is it Tokyo Revengers? There are certain series where, yeah, I think it's Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah.
Kind of things that mess with the past a little bit and like that time mechanic. I think there's a few series that I've like read the first chapters for, but haven't really read fully through. I don't really read a lot of the novels on Voice Me just because right now for the aesthetic, like the way that the viewing looks for the books, specifically like the light novels. But overall I am enjoying like the webcomics. And just in general, I read a lot more webcomics just personally.
Yeah.
Webcomics and watch anime, and it's just a lot more about the art.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
but yeah, so like those three series specifically, obviously, I gush over from King V. I just read it multiple times just for fun. Not because it's like my writing, but more because of the art.
Yeah.
And the art itself is phenomenal, and I think the stuff I've been doing with like Busy Bees on like Instagram and TikTok, the only reason why they're doing well is because the TikTok editor plus the quality images that Bert's team has done. It's just, yeah, some of the panels are just like breathtaking. So
Yeah.
and funny
Sometimes, yeah. Also, like, I got a question. Why do they need like hover like vehicles when they're bees?
Oh yeah, so I was asked about this as well because other than the obvious pun of the BMW, I think the reason why I wanted them was because um I think I saw like a Pinterest board where they had like bee styled like vehicles, and I saw one that was literally a bee colored uh like black and yellow, and then it was like a motorbike, and it was actually made by BMW or something like that, something crazy.
Interesting.
And I was just like, this. And I think too, so the bees obviously all can fly with their wings, but those vehicles are a lot more convenient and they're a lot faster. So
Mm,
it's a lot more about like, quicker mobility. Because obviously the speed that they fly is not like, supersonic speed. It's nothing crazy. It's like, a normal fluttering speed, I guess. So
okay, okay.
and also it's just cool.
Yeah, I compared that to like, Junie's bike from Spy Game.
I remember that. That was funny.
I mean, it looked the exact same. I can't. I'm not wrong here. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Obviously the BMW pun. Ha ha ha. Great. But I mean, yeah. Overall, I mean, I really like King B. And another question I have: what the hell is a Christian writer? I don't understand what that means. Is it like someone that's Christian and writes? Like, I'm confused.
Yes.
That's it,
That's all it is.
bro. What? Okay.
It just means like in terms of like a lot of my personal series, aside from King B, because it's more on the company production side.
Mhm.
But like Ascension, like one of the series that I'm currently like working on in the background, as well as like my novel Among the Fallen on Wattpad, like those specifically have more of like a religious vibe. Like it
Mm.
has more of like religious symbolism. I like to pepper stuff in like that. And obviously it's not like preachy. It's more about like good versus evil, morality. Like it's more about like what do you do in these situations, and like what do you choose to do when you're faced with like difficulties. So it's kind of more like, yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's what I just put it in there.
But yeah, like, I mean, what are your other series actually about? Because I don't know anything about 'em.
Oh, you're all good. So Among the Fallen is a novel that I actually had been working on for like 10 plus years. I
Ah,
recently finished it like last November, and it's something that I am in the process of editing, hoping to publish it like through Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. But that one specifically is about like, obviously it's like the normal fantasy story of like,
mm,
he's in a village, he is, um, pretty much like he is like the reincarnation like of a cursed god, and so
okay, okay.
he has to figure out how to like, you know live through that. And obviously he's very like discriminated against in his village, and so during like one of those ceremonies that you see in like every single fantasy story, he decides to leave the village and goes on his own adventure. There's prophecies and fighting, and him learning magic, and obviously getting beaten up a lot because he's just bad
Weak.
sometimes.
Yeah.
He has to learn. And obviously there's obviously comedy bits between like the two main characters, so that's something that I brought over a lot too.
Okay.
And it's just all about that journey of like self-discovery and finding your place in the world, and then also learning and growing as a person. And to be honest, that novel specifically was almost like the way I viewed like the world, in the sense of like my own experience growing up, not obviously the bad parts, but like more of like that kind of weird space between going from like your middle school to your high school, and then into college, and then adulthood, and like going through those stages of life and like progressing. So that specifically, Ascension is something that like I wrote in script form. It was like my first attempt at writing a script. It went really badly. But the entire idea that I wanted to kind of get across was like, I wanted it as a tower series. I wanted it specifically with a female main character, and I
Mhm.
also wanted her to represent this kind of morally gray morality, and then her go head to head with like her twin brother, who has more of a black and white morality, and how those two specifically, even in our world, clash. People who are subscribed to one or the other, and how there is like, by the end of the series, I'm hoping to figure out like that there needs to be compromise, and that, you know, while you can maintain your own beliefs and your own views on life, you also, for the sake of like cooperation with other people, need to bend a little, or even just like maybe like work together for a better goal. So I wanted to present that. So it's originally was more science fiction, you know, more dystopian-esque, and so still working on it, hoping it eventually turns out to be something, but working on other stuff while it kind of sits on the back burner a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. But I got like one more question for you. As the second female author on the channel, do you have any advice you'd give to newer authors?
Oh, newer authors.
Yeah,
I
or
would
any
say,
author, really, you know, they want to be better.
Let me think. I am not myself an experienced author, so
That's fine. I mean, I
I would
know the other
say
person wasn't, that was on here as well, so.
something, so like kind of two different threads, one for novels and one for scripts. For novels, I would say that really take time to develop your world and your characters. Really take time to like think about, you know, how would they react in this situation? What are they trying to achieve in terms of the world? How is this world, you know, unique to your story? They obviously can have fantastical elements. There'll always be, you know, tropey elements in every story, but like, how do you set that apart? Also focus on, like, one of the biggest things too with novels, because there's no artwork associated with them usually unless it's like a picture book, focus on having good grammar and spelling and making sure that all of those things are like pretty much patterned out. Obviously you can have editors. That's what a really great resource to use, to hire editors to kind of make sure that those are, you know, in line. And then also like descriptions, like have really solid descriptions of the world, because that's the only thing that the readers will see. And just, you know, combining all those elements and having a like a fluid storyline, something that, you know, people will read and think it's like consistent and it's moving towards a goal, a destination, like the end of the story. For script writing, I would just say there's unique ways that people format scripts, so no way is the right way. It's the only thing you have to know about scripts is like, are you correctly, like, how do I say this, transmitting your ideas to the artist that you're going to work with? You know, is it readable? Is it something that they'll be able to transfer easily? And that's something that I've had to learn as well. Like, how much is too much description? How much is too less description? What kind of angles do you need to use? So there's a lot of formatting helps. And obviously Eli and a couple other people do workshops for script writing and for world building and all those different elements. So I definitely support going to those. Especially in terms of pitching, because I know a lot of people in the voicemail community are more pitch focused. So they have really great workshops where you can actually submit your pitches and people will go through them and edit them. So yeah.
Interesting.
So that's all I have to say with those.
Yeah, I mean, the last female I had in here, her name was Cree, and she's like, you know, an artist as well. So it's like, it's interesting seeing like the difference in, you know, advice they would give as well.
Oh yeah, it's very, very different.
But yeah, I appreciate you, you know, coming on the channel. I appreciate it again.
For sure. Thank you so much for setting this interview up, and, you know, very nice to have a casual vibe. Very happy. So
yes, sir. But I mean, yeah, I guess I'll see you later. You know, when King B becomes an original as well. So
crossing my fingers.
Yes,
crossing
sir.
my fingers.
So, yeah,
making more funny meme videos.
read it if you got this far. Read it. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you later now this time.